Before I get started with this story, let me give a shout out to one of my followers on Twitter by the name of Mark. And when they sent me this, I was like, what in the world did you just send me? And he just said that he thought I would find this to be interesting. And it is interesting because I did not know that they actually were handing out or looking for people to fill a position for a job like this. I didn't even know that this was a job. Now, I have heard of gender studies courses at colleges, but I didn't know it was like this. So, listen, content is content at this point. So, this is coming from the Higher Ed Jobs or the hiredjobs.com website. Never heard of it. And I guess it's just a website that just puts out a bunch of different jobs. So like Indeed or those other job locator type of sites. And this is a job that was put out on October 18, 2021. You're talking over 2 months ago. And it was a job sent out by Georgia State University in Atlanta, Georgia, ironically. And they're looking for an assistant professor of Black feminist thought, sexuality, and queer studies. I said, so you're basically looking for a confused Mammy to teach the agenda, is what you're telling me. Now, what really stuck out to me before I saw anything else, because we're going to scroll through this because I'm curious to see what this job description is and what the requirements are to get it, is that this job is a full-time job. It was posted on the 18th of October. Application due open until filled. Category women and gender study. Pay attention to where it says application due or until open until filled. This job has been out for over 2 months and has not been filled by anybody yet. Maybe it's because no one wants this job. They probably looked at this and was like, next. That's a waste of time. This is what you call trying to get a degree in basket weaving. Like, what in the world could someone do in this class? I'm just like really curious. Like, what would this class do or benefit for anybody except how to teach them how to be a man-hating skank, as far as I'm concerned. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is comedy, right? This is pure comedy. Log number 023-033. The Institute for Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies, or WGSS, at Georgia State University invites applications for the position of Assistant Professor of Black Feminist Thought, Sexuality, and Queer Studies to begin in August of 2022. Mind you, they still have not filled this position yet, because if they had, it would have been said right around here, oh, this application is closed. The fact that it still says apply now means no one has applied for it yet, and rightfully so. And just so y'all know, Georgia State is not an HBCU. Just thought I would put that out there. It is not an HBCU. It is a PWI. That's another red flag right there. Not saying that it wouldn't be a red flag if it was an HBCU, but a GSU is a PWI. And the fact that they want to have this there on a PWI campus, that's a red flag for me. Scholars from a variety of disciplinary and interdisciplinary fields are encouraged to apply. Applicants with additional expertise in transgender studies, transnational research, visual and media studies, applied feminisms, and Latinx feminisms are especially welcomed. So they're telling you right then and there who they're looking for as an applicant. Anyone that can fulfill their agenda-filled duties. The successful candidate will contribute to some of WGSS's main areas of focus: race, globalization, sexuality, and social change. The candidate, why don't they just get a BLM supporter? They might as well, because what I'm reading so far lines right up with their mission statement. The successful candidate will contribute to some of WGSS's main core. I already read that part. The candidate will also support the development of curricular and extracurricular academic experiences that serve our diverse undergraduate and graduate student body and enhance interdisciplinary research and teaching. WGSS offers a MA, a graduate certificate, a BA, and an undergraduate minor. WGSS's curriculum is designed to support undergraduate and graduate students whose aspirations include employment in the nonprofit NGO sector, the arts, journalism, public health, counseling, and the pursuit of advanced degrees and doctoral programs. For more information about the Institute, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep on scrolling. It says applicants must have a PhD at the time of appointment. For consideration, applicants should send the following materials to that email as a single PDF file. A CV, cover letter, which includes discussion of research and teaching interests, diversity statement, which includes discussion of candidates' experience or willingness and ability to work with a diverse student population as a teacher and mentor. Names and contact information for 3 references, writing sample, 2 sample syllabi, one of which is prepared for an undergraduate course in Black feminist thought, and one of which is prepared for a special topic course highlighting the applicant's particular research and teaching interests. Additional materials may be requested of candidates who advance in the search. Please send questions about the position to Institute to the Search Committee Chair, Dr. Christy Hartley at chartley@gsu.edu. Consideration of applications begins on November 1st and will continue until the position is filled. So this thing was put out on October 18th. They started this stuff on the 1st. It is now December the 1st of me recording this video, a whole month after that applications beginning. And I bet you by the time this video gets uploaded, they still won't have this position filled. Georgia State University, an innovative R1 university, is located in Atlanta, a large and diverse metropolitan area. GSU enrolls and graduates one of the most diverse student bodies in the nation and is among the top public degree granting institutions for black and students of color. Well, at least they got one part right, and that was not throwing black people into that POC category. In the U.S., WGSS is committed to serving the student body and advancing creative research by building a diverse faculty. Georgia State University is an equal opportunity employer. It continues to be the policy of the university to implement affirmative action and equal opportunity for all employees, students, contractors, consultants, and applicants for employment or admission without regards to race, color, religion, creed, national origin, sex, age, gender, transgender status, pregnancy, sexual orientation, genetic information, protected veteran status, or disability. Georgia State University is an equal opportunity employer and does not discriminate against applicants due to race, ethnicity, gender, veteran status, or on the basis of disability, or any other federal, state, or local protected class. And that's the whole thing right there. Listen, this is a joke. This is a running joke. Like, this is straight up comedy right here. I'm gonna put this in the category of comedy when I get ready to upload it, when I get ready to do it. But I thought it was very interesting that it says that they're looking for an assistant professor. So my thing is, who's the main professor? Sounds like a course that's kind of already on the campus, that's already ongoing, but they're looking for an assistant. It says assistant professor of Black feminist thought, sexuality, and queer studies. This is basically trying to teach other Black women how to bed wench. That's what I gathered from this. That's what I gathered from this whole, just the title alone and what I read. And to push the agenda. That's what I get from this. It's no wonder nobody has applied for this job yet. And it's a wonder it hasn't been filled yet. Well, not a wonder. It's no wonder it hasn't been filled yet. And they said they're looking to have someone by August 2022. The only thing that they have is they have a window of opportunity in time between now and then. But time moves pretty fast in reality. I'm reading this and I'm like, really? That's a course? That's a course that's being taught on these campuses? And it doesn't shock me that it's happening at a PWI. Because when I went to the HBCU that I went to, yes, I went to an HBCU. I don't remember this being a class. Like, I don't remember any of the girls that I went to school with saying that they took this as a class. The closest we got to a class that dealt with people was our intro to sociology. That's it. Now, for those who majored in that, I don't know how much further they went into it, but you got to think at the time to college at a different time period. My years was from 2007 to 2011. This was pre-agenda. This was pre-majority social networks. The only social networks we really had when I was in college was MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I guess you can throw YouTube in there. And that was about it. And I think I said, did I say Twitter? I think I said Twitter. Of course, social media changed a whole lot since then, but it is what it is. But I definitely don't remember any girl that I went to school with talking about this as a course. And I definitely didn't know any professor on the campus for the school I attended teaching this. But yeah, I can see right off the bat what kind of person they're trying to hire. Well, shoot, all they got to do is go on to some of these Twitter spaces and look for the spaces that are talking about why black men ain't this and why black men ain't that and why black men can't do this and why black men can't lift up black women and why can't and why can't and why can't. Just look for those and you might have an applicant, but then again, they might not have all the requirements, so that might be a L. But if you look up some of them blue checks on Twitter, you might find one. You might find a diamond in the. Well, I don't want to compare them to a diamond. A diamond actually looks nice and it's enticing. It's attractive. This is not it. Like I said, this is like a toss away video. You know, like I just kind of do a video, but I wanted to get my perspective on it. But I'm kind of glad that I did, because the fact of the matter that they actually have this as a job, that's what gets me. This is an actual job that they're trying to fill. And like I said, by the time I upload this video, you know what I'm going to do? By the time I upload this video, I'm going to come back to this link and see if that apply now is still there. And if it is, I'm going to leave a pinned comment under the video and say I went back and looked days later and that thing still says apply now and the position is still open. Kudos to the ones that are overlooking this and be like, are they crazy? Like that, you know what? I wish I could be a fly on the wall to see what they talk about. I bet you I probably wouldn't stay in that class. I would fly right off that wall and under the nearest crack to get from hearing that filth. But because I can only imagine what they would talk about in that class, just based on the course setup. And what they're probably trying to look for is somebody who fits the criteria of everything that they're teaching. And I highly doubt that a man would, at least not one of sound mind, and probably not in the academy, would even apply for this job. And they probably wouldn't even let a man in it because it says black feminist thought. So really they're looking for a black woman who fits this mold. Like I said, if they look online, they might find one, because there's plenty of them on there. But like I said, if they don't have the actual credentials, then that it ain't happening. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.